Welcome, welcome. My name is Austin Hamilton, also known as Porn Coach. Coming at you live from planet Earth, Phoenix, Arizona, one state away from California, where the Los Angeles Dodgers just won the World Series. Let's give it up for them. Way to go, Dodgers. For any Dodgers fans out there. And here's the question of the night. You ready? You ready for it? Is porn cheating? That's the question. I'm here to chat, debate, hear your story, hear if you have been betrayed, if you have betrayed someone. Let's see where we go. What's up, Angela? Enlightened Panda. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, what's going on, man?
Not much. Have I talked to you before?
I
No?
don't know. Possibly.
Maybe it was a different Enlightened Panda.
No, there's
What's
only
going
one
on?
Enlightened Panda.
There's only one. Okay. All right.
It's only one, man. Not much. How are you
Is
doing?
porn cheating?
Geez, I don't know. It depends. Whether you
On?
use the left or the right hand, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Tell me more.
Well, so what, are you right-handed or left-handed? It
I'm
matters.
left-handed.
Okay, so if you were to use your left hand instead of your right, wouldn't you think your right hand would get jealous?
I don't think it matters.
Well, I mean,
Where are you going with this?
you, well, you gotta go back and forth, man. Otherwise, you're cheating yourself.
You a switch hitter?
Hell yeah.
You get too tired? You got small little arms?
Hell yeah. We're talking like T-Rex.
T-Rex arms? Okay. Sounds about right.
Like barely reach. Like you gotta
Uh-huh.
like bend over.
Uh-huh.
hmm
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm fucking old, man. I'm like 30,
Going on 14?
going on like 80. My back
Okay.
hurts every time I move.
How much porn do you watch?
It's too too much.
How many times a day?
One,
Once a
yeah,
day?
probably once. Yeah,
Are you in a relationship
yep,
with a woman?
yes, sir.
Like a real life woman?
I think so.
Or
I
just
mean,
the
I
ones
hope
on
so.
the make-believe ones on the
Could
internet?
could be an alien. You never know.
Yeah. What does she think about your porn use?
Now she joins.
She joins.
Yes, sir.
Cool. What else do you want to share?
Mm.
You having fun here?
Actually, yeah, I'm having a good time. It's better than all the political bull crap going on.
Who are you voting for?
Oh, geez. I don't know. Who can we vote for without getting screwed?
Well, there's two options, essentially.
Not always. You could always go middle. You could always go three.
Sure. But who are you voting for?
Hmm. I feel like I just vote third party.
Okay. All right. Well,
What
thanks
about
for
you?
sharing, man.
Yeah.
Hey there. What's going on, Luis?
Yeah. Yo, what's going on, bro? How you been?
Not much.
Yo,
All
can,
right.
can you
Am I
hear me?
been? I've been good, thanks. Yeah. You're writing in me. Don't waste
Oh,
your vote,
okay.
that kid. All right. What's up? Oh,
Nothing.
Cowboy Bunny Beef. You doing okay? Yeah.
Nothing.
What's going on? Is porn cheating?
This one cheating. Yeah, I think it is. A lot of guys kind of. I think people in general. Well, some Everyone can kind of dive into it. It's a addictive habit. It can get really bad, and I think with stuff like that, it kind of enables you to kind of see, dive deeper and deeper, and it's like an endless loop kind of thing, and you kind of have to figure, the best way to get out of it. Because if you don't, you're just you're in like sinking sand. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Do you watch porn?
We spoke. I do you remember? I don't think you remember. I think we last spoke like a while ago.
Do we? Okay.
Yeah.
Remind me
Yeah.
what we
Anyway,
talked about.
I told you that I haven't watched anything in like 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to. I don't watch it anymore.
Cool, man. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. How long ago did we
So,
talk?
probably like over a month ago.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, it's been a while. How's
Cool.
Let me ask you here, like with the main reason for your live stream and your content. I mean, have you like had like a corn addiction, and have you like been able to like battle it?
Hmm. Yeah, I watched porn for about 20 years from when I was about 12 to 32, which escalated into physical cheating while I was
Okay.
married. I'm still married to the same woman. And we were able
Mm.
to work through that. Been clean for 7 years. And now I create
Oh,
content
wow.
and host these lives and facilitate groups and do my coaching to help other people who are struggling with the same thing because it's a very lonely place to be.
Do you how do you handle urges now
How do I handle
nowadays?
urges?
Because sometimes they probably creep up or try to creep up, and you kind of probably 7 years in, you've probably had maybe like
But
a mental game to kind of out
yeah,
battle those, I
I
guess.
don't have urges to watch porn. I mean, that ship sailed a long time ago. But
Yeah.
if I'm in the mood, so to speak, I'll go talk to my wife and say, "Hey, let's chat." Not that I'm suggesting anything needs to happen, but I find it's better just to have a conversation and talk about what's going on than it is to hide it, pretend like nothing's happening, because I know where that goes. So,
Hmm.
having a
Got it.
conversation. Yeah.
Do you think like with the advancement of technology like AI, etc., and it probably being mixed in with this whole corn industry, I mean, how damaging do you think that could be? Like probably people starting like AI, like couples and relationships, are just making their own like virtual thing through like, I guess, the metaverse or like Apple Vision Pro, whichever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Is that kind of
terrible.
just
Yeah.
deeper, like
Great
diving
question.
deeper? Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's everywhere, right? And AI literally allows you to curate your own experience. I mean, that's already what porn allows you to do, but now you can do it through AI, which just gets you further and further into a hole. I've talked to just a few guys who they like exclusively do that, like they're using
Hmm.
AI, whether it's via text, like making text stories about it, to curate their experience, or using AI porn or VR porn, really, not necessarily AI. So yeah, it's crazy, and we're just at the beginning of this whole AI thing.
And you just said the beginning. I mean, do you think maybe at one point it would get so bad? Like maybe some people don't even like just the idea of watching porn, like corn, is like a joke. Like people now have these options. Like how we have this those endless loops of like options on like adult websites. You could kind of make your own like robot thing at home and kind of, i.e.,
Well, we're already
replace the
there.
physical.
I read an article the other day. I can't remember what country it was, but they basically they surveyed a certain age demographic. I can't remember what it was. It was like late teens or maybe early 20s, and they actually preferred to have robots, sex robots, as their sexual partners instead of real people. So we're already
Wow.
there. Yeah.
Did you hear about that? I think it was that um, 13, 14-year-old individual that killed himself because of an AI chat bot.
Maybe. I'm not sure, but
Mhm.
that's sad.
He was, yeah, it is. It really is. And the parents are like trying to sue the company, etc. It's
Yeah.
honestly really sad.
Yeah, I read something. It might not have been that, but I read something about something that an AI bot did that was like real bad, and then they were trying to hold the company liable. But yeah, it's crazy, man. That sucks. Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right, man. Thanks for sharing.
I really
Yeah,
appreciate you giving me the time. Yeah,
yeah.
man. Take care.
Thanks for coming back. See you, man. All right. What's up, people? Krista, what happened? What happened? You got a
Hello.
story. Kenzie Schuff. Hey there. What's going on?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What's up?
So I just wanted to give a little insight. I was in a probably about a 4.5 year long relationship. And early on, the intimacy was there, but things started to kind of change. And I put two and two together and realized he was watching a lot of porn. So to me, porn is cheating because in that situation, it took his attention away from me and made me feel less than. And he was kind of like worshiping, you know, quote unquote fake women online. Women who, have the money and the means to look exactly how they want to look while neglecting what he had at home with him.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
But I also feel like it's something that if you and your partner agree, maybe to watch together, or if you're in a long term or like a long distance relationship, I feel like there's certain criterias where it's like not as bad. But if somebody is laying in bed with you and you're neglecting their needs while fulfilling your own on your own, that's cheating.
Okay. Why would it not be as bad if you're away from each other?
Because I feel like that need needs to be met.
Well, hold on. What's the need? Is the need to ejaculate, or is the need to masturbate while watching other people have sex?
Masturbate, not
Okay.
necessarily watching other people have sex, but
Well, yeah. I'm just
I
want to be
don't.
clear on when you say the need. Is the need
Right,
because you can masturbate without watching other people, strangers have sex on the internet, right? So,
right.
just to be very clear, when you say the need, what are you referring to?
Just masturbation, I guess.
Oh, got it. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe early on in a relationship, it's not as much of a red flag, but once you're, deep into a relationship and that's kind of something you're hiding, if it's something that you're hiding, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. All right. Do you are you in a relationship? I can't remember what you said before.
No, no, not now.
Okay. Do you have a boundary with porn in your relationships or?
I mean, if you're upfront and honest, if it's something that you would want to do as my partner together, that's one thing. But like I said, if you're hiding it and making me feel like it's something that you're withholding from me, then I'm not comfortable with that.
Got it.
I feel like it's an awkward conversation that needs to be had one way or the other.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. Uh, it's an even more awkward conversation though to have it after you discover it if you didn't have the first awkward conversation.
Right, right. Especially like in my case where I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why, what am I lacking? And then finding that and it's like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
our generation, especially, with social media and Cornhub as easily accessible as it is, it's a whole new area of insecurities and worries that, you know, our parents and grandparents did not have to face.
Yeah. It's crazy now what's available.
Okay, but that's all
Yeah.
that I wanted. I just seen you
All
on
right.
my For You page, and I'm like, oh, I got some insight on that.
All right. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right. You too. Bye. The National Pallet Broker has been 6 days clean after an 18-year addiction. Way to go. And look at all those pallets in your profile picture. If anybody needs pallets, that's probably your guy right there. Get some help, man. 18 years, if you're just white knuckling it, cold turkey, great, good job, great start. But the odds of relapse within 6 months is basically 100% if you're not getting some intentional help. Okay. Therapist, coach, counselor, read books, get in a recovery community, do something that's going to make it stick. Okay. But great job. Great job making that shift. Krista, did you actually request? Did you mean to do that? Yeah. Okay. Hey, what's up?
Oh my gosh, do I have a story for you?
Okay. Tell us
Okay,
a
so I'm
story.
at the gym. I'm at the gym and I'm getting my AirPods set up. And I have you on my YouTube, right?
Oh, I love where this is
And
going.
I'm at the front of the gym with the big group of all the workers at the front, and I'm getting my music set up, and a Hub advertisement, like anti-Hub, comes on the loudspeaker of my phone. Do you have a problem with masturbation? Is this an area that is affecting other parts of your life? And my AirPods weren't connected and my phone was on loud. I just about died. Disclaimer, if you become a regular watching on YouTube, make sure your AirPods are connected.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So did you talk to him about it? Did you be like, hey, listen to this guy, all you perverts out there?
No, I have to find a new gym now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I literally died though. I looked over and they're looking at me and I'm just stuck, awkward. It was so bad.
That's amazing. I love that that happened for you.
Thank you. Of course you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. So did you leave or did you continue doing your workout full of shame?
No, I just kept working out and then I locked in major confidence, stared him down, locked him in the eyes like it is what it is.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
good
bad.
for you. So I have a, should I tell you guys who this is? So I have another story. I guess the story hasn't happened yet, but there's this guy at my gym. I go to the best way to, it's like a hoity-toity gym. It's like a semi-private gym. And there's this guy at my gym who's like a professional TikToker. All he does is battles. I won't say his name, but it rhymes with Zach Lewis. And he is the most degrading person to women on TikTok. The things he says, like, I would call the police if he ever said something like that around my daughter. And I don't know him. I've never talked to him. Somebody else just told me about him. And I started following, and some of the things he said, I'm like, oh my, are you seriously? It's like we think Trump is bad for the things he's said. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And this guy, 100 times worse. I'm going to go up to him at the gym and be like, hey, man, like, you want to have a talk? As I tower over him because I'm like a foot taller than him.
Be like, hey,
Oh,
you
I
want to go to
totally
lunch
am.
sometime?
I totally will. I'm like, hey man, look, you need help. You're gonna get arrested. I kind of hope you do. But this is awful, man. Like this is terrible. He's got like 500,000 followers. It's crazy. So, Zach Lewis, if you're out there, man, if I see you at the gym, we're gonna have a talk.
Just sneak up to him and be
He's
like,
live.
hey,
He's live
that's
right now.
cute. Add him in. Be like, listen, this
Well,
is
he doesn't
for
know
you.
who I am. He doesn't know who I am. So, anyways, total side topic, but thank you for sharing that story. That's crazy.
Oh, I just about died, and I was like, I hope he goes live so I can tell him this. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And then I got home, and my husband's like, now they think you have a problem with masturbation, so good luck with that one. I was like,
No,
great.
you're fighting the good fight.
Yeah. But it sounded like it goes, do you have a problem? It was so bad.
You
It
do
was
have a
so
problem with
bad.
it. You do have a problem with masturbation. You want it to stop.
That's right. Amen. Okay. Well, have a good night. I'll be in the comments. I
right.
had to share.
Sounds good. Thanks for sharing. Bye-bye. I got to follow him on my backup account now so I can watch him. So you guys don't go in there and be like, hey, porn coach is talking about you. Like 90% of what he says is like, it's just fine. It's just these stupid TikTok battles. I don't understand why people do this. But then there's the stuff he says, and I'm like, can't believe it. All right. No, it's not. Stop. Hey there, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. What's up?
Well, I have kind of listened to some of your TikToks some nights, and I just wanted to say that I think it's great that you have this because so many are, just feel obviously shame to even talk about it. So I think it's such a great thing you're doing. So yay for
Well,
that.
thank you. Yeah.
And as far as is it cheating, I definitely think it is, and I feel like I know it is, just because I am a Christian, and I just know that I had a boyfriend, of course. At one time, I'm married now, but the magazines and the videos I would catch, I was like, oh no. So it's definitely. I actually don't see how people don't think it is cheating. You're lusting after someone else's body. It's in your mind. And not only that, it doesn't stop there. As you see, it can go open up other things in your life that, it's just not good. Sometimes it can. And it can start out so innocent, right? And one of my things are, I don't know if you've ever brought this up, is I have two boys. I have an 11-year-old and a 19-year-old. And so sometimes that is hard to, think, how do you bring this up to your sons when that's out there? Just like you said, AI is coming fast. They can what's this? Good pictures, bad pictures. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Did you write that?
Yeah.
Did you write that book?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
no,
cool.
I didn't write it.
Well, maybe you should.
I held it up in front of the screen. No, I definitely
You should
didn't
get some props for that.
Some guy with a PhD wrote it.
Yeah.
Very good book. Good pictures, bad pictures. This one is geared towards kids age 7 to 11. The junior version is geared towards kids ages 3 to 7. And it's designed to help talk about pornography with your children. Essentially, it says stuff like, hey, these are private parts. Private parts are meant to be private. We shouldn't show our private parts. We shouldn't take pictures of our private parts. Right? So just going back to the basics.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you ever see private parts on your phone, come tell an adult.
Right. Just what to fly for. Just because, like you said, AI and like when I was younger, you didn't have the phone and the Snapchat for pictures to people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so things are so easy to get into now. So I that's the main thing. Thankfully, thank the good Lord, I don't have a problem with this in my life right now, but things can always happen. So you really have to be on your guard and stuff. And I just think you're doing a great thing doing this to help people. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks for sharing.
That. Yeah. God bless.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Because of that book, my daughter told me about a friend who was exposed to something inappropriate. Trina, that's, I hate celebrating things that shouldn't be celebrated. That sucks. And I'm glad that the conversation was open to where she could talk to you, and now you can do something with it. Right? So, yeah, use the right words, yeah. Yeah, I learned that lesson on our women's call the other day, for those of you who were there. All right, Robin. She's only 7. Her friend is 8. Ugh. Oh, you were hitting the hearts? All right, Robin. Flux capacitor 85.
Hello?
Hey, Jesse Hill. How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Have I talked to you before?
You have, yes.
Okay.
The last time that you talked to me, it was I was crying, but
Oh, great. Are you going to cry again? It's okay if
no,
you do.
no, I'm not gonna cry again.
Okay.
At least I don't think so.
All right. What's going on?
Since I last talked to you, things have definitely gotten better. Um, I believe the last time we had spoke, I was right in the midst of dealing with kind of like the post, like the aftermath of, finding out different things that my husband, him watching corn and him coming to me and telling me he had a problem and, us going forward, getting therapy, stuff like that. And now we are probably about, I don't know, like maybe 9 months post discovery.
Mhm.
And he's been doing everything he needs to do, staying accountable with things. We have, like weekly check-ins about stuff just to, see if things are still going well. But, after finding out that had happened, I was pretty closed off, I guess, like physically, like not really wanting him to like see me, look at me, kind of like, let's turn off the lights kind of thing. And we're far enough past it now where I have felt comfortable, being free again. Like I'm starting to trust him again. And so I sent him a picture of me. He's home. He was downstairs, and I sent him a picture of me, and kind of like a come upstairs kind of thing. And in a way, I was proud of him, but in another way, it like hurt my feelings. But he told me, I don't think it's a good idea to send pictures and, to do that kind of stuff. He said, I know, like, you weren't doing it in a bad way, and it's not me looking at somebody else. He said, but it brings up that feeling of like the urge of wanting to go look at other things. Like just seeing a picture of me did that. So then I felt guilty, and then I'm kind of like, I was like down on myself, like, oh, like I started like thinking like, oh, he just didn't like the picture of me or whatever. And he said it wasn't that at all. He just didn't want us to get into territory where he was starting to feel like urges to go back to that kind of thing. So he was just being honest and voicing with me, this is what I've been told. Like, even if it's videos of like the two of us together, it wouldn't be good. He said, he said, I don't have anything like that on my phone. He said, when you sent it to me, I deleted it. So again, I was proud of him in one way. But
Yeah.
then the other side of it was like my feelings were hurt.
A little bit. Totally. Well, look, I mean,
Yeah.
good for him. My opinion is he hit that one out of the park.
I think so
Okay.
too.
Yeah. Like seriously.
And nobody talks about that. I never hear anybody talk about like that is a thing that can happen,
Yeah.
Like I think it's natural for like the person that was betrayed to want to try and recompensate or like try to I don't know, overdo. I don't want to say overdo
Totally.
it, but
Like, yeah, you go one of two ways. It's either I'm never going to touch you again, or I'm going to be hypersexual, right,
Yeah.
for a period of time. But and your how you felt is totally valid as well. It's like you felt like you were doing this thing, making this bid for connection, and then you were kind of shut down, so to speak. But his intention, I think, was right on. It's like, hey, thanks. However, this is not a good idea, because they can send them right down that slippery slope. Right.
yeah.
Because again, it's not real intimacy. a picture on a screen.
Right. Right. And that's what he was saying. He said he said you can send me a text, be like, "Hey, come upstairs."
Hmm.
But he said it's not anything to do with you. He said I just don't want to get in a cycle where I'm even looking at anything on a screen and feeling that urge.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So,
How long ago
but
did
I
that
was just proud
happen?
of him for that. This was like the other day that this happened.
Okay. Yeah, and now that you've had a little bit of distance on it, I mean, do you feel better about it?
Yes, at first, like the day of, my feelings were hurt. Obviously, nothing happened between us physically that night because my feelings were hurt afterwards.
Hmm.
But I told him later, hey, I'm sorry that my feelings were hurt, and I'm proud of you, and I appreciate you being honest with me and telling me that, and wording it, in the way that you did, so as not to hurt my feelings.
Yeah. Well, and I think the big win here, Jesse, is you guys had an uncomfortable conversation. He was comfortable enough to like bring it up with you. You were comfortable enough to share how you really felt, and you guys navigated through it beautifully, right?
Yeah,
Don't lose sight of that,
absolutely.
right?
I
And
just
that's
wanted to share it
yeah,
just for anybody else that could possibly, I mean, if their spouse or someone that they're with is trying to get help, just don't get your feelings hurt about it, or try not to.
yeah,
Try not to too bad, because it is hard for them, and I'm not diminishing that at all. I know it is hard, like when someone has been watching stuff like that for so long, and then they try to stop, and they're succeeding in their recovery. It would be the same as like, I guess if he was like an alcoholic, it would be, nobody would think any different. If I was like, oh, I don't drink around my husband because, he's an alcoholic or whatever, no one would be like, oh yeah, like no one would tell me that was crazy or anything. So I think it's kind of like the same thing. I'm trying to look at it like the same way, even though it was just a picture of me and we are together.
yeah. Well, the thing is, and you may not like this, but it's still porn, right?
Right. Right.
Like literally by the definition of it. So that's why it can be problematic.
Absolutely.
So and it can it can just put them right back in that spot, or the person right back in that spot of this habit that they have.
Right. And it was something that in my mind, like, I was just doing it for him, just sharing that for him, and completely innocent on my part. But I completely understand, why that can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
why I can't do that.
No.
But yeah, my feelings were hurt, but they're not anymore, and I completely understand. But I am proud of the growth, and I think that anybody that wants to stop can.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he even told me, he said even if it's a picture of you, he said, I feel bad. He said, I feel bad about myself even seeing it.
Well, because
He said it makes me feel guilty.
It's turning you into an object, right? It reduces
Right.
the person down to an object, right? Even if it's your spouse.
Right.
So
But yeah, I just wanted to share that because
Yeah,
I never
thanks for
hear
sharing.
anybody talk about that. All right,
yeah.
thank you.
Well, we
Have a
we
good
talk
night.
about that. Yeah, thanks for sharing. See ya. Yeah, it's a cool story. Man, I got heartburn. It's been a while because I had a bread bowl, bread bowl, tomato soup from Panera. Anybody with a bread bowl? I didn't eat the soup. My wife did, but I did eat the bowl. Yes, a bread bowl. A bread bowl. I didn't eat the soup. I had like one sip of it. I'll get the guts to join you live one day, sir. I have lots of thoughts on the subject. Oh, Red Bull. No, Bread Bull. I can see how you misheard. I've never had a Red Bull. I've tried like one sip of one time, and I
No?
don't understand. Hey there, what's going on?
What's going on?
Not much. Is porn cheating?
Is porn cheating
Hmm.
if I see Autumn Falls or Lana Rhodes, I'm going crazy like the 2016 LeBron James or the 2016 Steph Curry. So no.
Okay.
Is the Pope a gangbanger? What's the answer to that?
Is the Pope a gangbanger? I think the answer is no.
There we go.
How are those two things related? Oh, what a delightful conversation. J-Maz, what's going on?
Yo, what's going on?
Not much. Is porn cheating?
Um, I think it is. I think it is, but unfortunately, with that being said, I struggle with it myself.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't say like I probably watch it like once or twice a week at the most, but obviously the goal for me is to get that down to zero. Um, I used to think it wasn't cheating, but as I got older and more educated and that kind of stuff, I like turned my ways and like was led to believe that yes, it is cheating, but however, that did not stop me from viewing it. But yeah, I mean, I'm still struggling with it, unfortunately, and just kind of wanted to get your advice on it.
Yeah. Okay. How old are you?
I'm 20.
20. Okay. How long has that been going on for?
Well, I was exposed to it at about 13, but didn't really start watching it on like a daily basis until about 14. So, I mean, it's been like an up and down kind of like spiral thing, but yeah.
Hmm. Okay. um, are you in a relationship?
I am. It's been just about 3.5 years.
Okay. Um, how were you initially exposed to it?
I mean, I'm honestly just, you're at school, like in middle school, and your boys think it's cool to flex about, what they see, what they find out on the internet. Oh, I found boobs, I found this, and just the curiosity came from that, and they were actually the ones that introduced me to it, and I was like, I knew I like it, at such a young age too. It's like I knew it was wrong. I just had that gut feeling, but on the flip side, it was like, why do I want to, you know, endure in this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was arousing and it felt
Yeah.
shameful. Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. um, well, which is very common, right? And it's part of it's part of the issue is that two things can be true, right? It has that arousing component to it, but then it's like, well, I shouldn't be doing this. And especially as a young boy, you don't know how to navigate it. It's like, what are you going to do with that?
Right.
Um, who else in your life knows that you struggle with this?
My girlfriend actually does know. Um, and my mom does. So yeah, but I mean, other than that, I don't really, and a couple of my friends do, but I mean, other than that, I don't really like, talk about it as much. I do talk about it with my girlfriend a lot though, and I'm grateful that she's there to support me with it. But I mean, yeah.
Hmm. Okay. What have you done up until this point to work on it?
Well, I started going to therapy for it, and it's helped quite a bit, to be honest with you, but it hasn't 100%, changed it. But just trying to like, you know, meditate more, to be honest, in times of like temptation, um, block certain things on my phone. But, even that, I found it only does so much for me. Um, so, part of me is like, do I just have to dig even deeper in these times of like temptation to get out, to get out of it, and a lot of times I find myself struggling to do that, which is why, I fall a lot of times. And we're not like ashamed to say that, but yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. How long have you been doing therapy?
Only for a few months now.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, do you have a faith background or anything?
Yeah, Christian.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I would recommend reading this book, Unwanted, by Jay Stringer. It does come from a Christian faith-based faith-based perspective. Very good book. I'd highly recommend reading that book. Okay, take a screenshot of
Okay.
that. You got to find the root of the issue, like why you're doing it and what you're using it for,
Hmm.
right? So you're 13 years old, your buddies in school showed it to you and it's arousing, and then you start looking at it yourself, however that happened, right? And now you're hooked. So there is a habitual part of it that you got to work on, but there's also the part of it that's like, why did this run rampant for me when I was 13 years old? What was your family life like? What were your views about sex and sexuality that you were taught, by your
Hmm.
family of origin, your faith of origin, as well as your society of origin, and just really examine those beliefs. Right? I'm kind of just spitballing all the things that may be helpful for you.
No, yeah.
And try to figure out where it came from and why
Hmm.
you're using it. It's usually, you're stressed, you're anxious, you're depressed, you're feeling that feeling and you want to do something. And then you turn to it. Right?
Mm.
Here's the
Yeah.
other thing though is, it is possible to masturbate without watching porn.
Hmm.
Right? And, you can consider whatever your boundary is with masturbation, but consider that. If you just commit to getting rid of the porn, right?
Hmm.
And
Okay. I
give
mean,
yourself some
because
grace with masturbating.
yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't even, I find it hard to figure out, where like it stems from. I mean, I don't know if part of it was like, I went to a private like Catholic school and they didn't teach anything about, sex and how any of that works. And I think maybe part of that was just, okay, everyone talks about this outside of school at a young age. I want to find it out. Maybe it was curiosity. I don't know, but unfortunately, like my teen years, it really was like a detriment to, my school and like my academics and stuff like that. But, luckily, like as I said, like now, like I'm a college student and like I said, I still struggle with it, but I've grown, you know, better with it. But
Yeah. Well, that can
I don't
certainly
know.
be
I mean,
part
it's
of it.
just,
Like, did your parents
yeah,
have the talk with you?
no, not really. No, my dad didn't. My mom kind of beat around the bushes with it, I guess, in a little bit, but yeah, there wasn't really that sit down kind of talk, face to face, explaining me like what this means, how this works when I was, like in middle school or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, um, that's all part of the story, right? In a in
Mm,
a Catholic school, which is a rigid environment, right, where you didn't get much,
yeah.
if any, education about it. Parents didn't talk
Hmm.
to you about it. It's like, okay, well, your body's changing. It's going through some stuff in your early teenage years, and then you got no guidance on it, on what was going on, right? So consider that porn was actually a teacher for you in those
Mm,
formative years. I would say
yeah.
not a very good teacher, but it was better than the other teacher you had, which was no teacher,
Hmm.
right? So that's where,
Hmm.
again, you can give yourself some grace on that. It's like, I didn't do this because I'm like some pervert and there's something wrong with me. It's like, well, how else am I supposed to figure out what's going on here? I'm not excusing it, right?
Right. Yeah.
But just consider that you had no guidance to figure this out.
I mean, I believe that's very true. But looking like back now, it's like I'm like, why is it feeling like still with me? Why is it just like, to put it, I guess like an analogy I can put it in is just like a mosquito bite that I have to itch,
Hmm.
every now and then, and it's like I don't want to, but I do. I'm in a really great relationship where we're both honest with each other. She knows, that I've struggled with this. She's supportive. Um, you know, our intimate life is great. I love her, blah blah blah, everything. But then it's like, why? Like, why do I feel the need to do this when I know it's wrong? I know I don't want to. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's like, I guess in my head, it's just kind of like I'm two-faced with it. There's one side. It's like the angel on the one shoulder, the devil on the other shoulder, I guess, in a
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah. Well, in part, what happens with it is it literally grooves your brain to to where it becomes a natural response or a learned response to whatever it is you're dealing with.
Hmm.
So, you're having similar emotions come up and then you're turning to porn. Something happens, you're turning to porn. Yeah, I like to use another analogy. Imagine, this comes from Sam Tielemans. Imagine, a boy is out in the middle of a field, a dry field, playing with matches, and he starts a little tiny fire. He could probably put that out no problem, just stomp it out a little bit, throw some dirt on it. But as that fire grows, the whole, say there's acres and acres and acres of dry brush on fire. There's no way this kid can put that fire out. It has outgrown his capacity to put it out.
Hmm.
Right? That's what this is like from the neurological level in the brain. Once you get hooked on it, that's why people refer to it as an addiction, porn addiction, because you keep
Hmm.
going to it. Right? I think you're doing all the right things, man, by the way. You're
Yeah. I
many of the
mean,
right things.
what I just think about too is like, I don't want to get to a point 5, 6, 7 years from now where, I'm married and wanting to start a family, and this is still a struggle in my life. I think that's just my biggest fear, and I try to attack it as much as I can now, but like I said, still creeps up on me every now and then. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, get that book, and I would also encourage you get in some sort of recovery community. I have groups that I run. They cost money. You can get more info on the link in my bio. If you have a faith community or you said you're a student, somewhere in there where people are wanting to actually work on this specifically will be helpful
Hmm.
for you because you're dealing with shame, and shame festers in the darkness, but it can't stand being spoken to the light. So as you
Hmm.
continue to name that shame and get it out there, that's what it will help it lose its power.
Hmm.
And right now, essentially, just your girlfriend and your mom knows, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Hmm.
pretty hard to find other 20-something-year-olds who are wanting to tackle this problem,
Yeah. Well,
right?
I mean, I think another thing too is like, you know, a lot of my buddies, they watch it, but they feel no shame, no guilt. Like it's like riding a bike to
Oh,
them,
it's there.
and
The shame's there.
yeah, I mean, the, I'm sure it is. It's just the way they talk about it with me. It's like, it's almost like they're happy to be viewing it. And, maybe that's not true, but,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's a facade, right? I mean,
Yeah.
most people they're actually dying on the inside and they know it's bad, but they're just in so deep that they have to maintain that.
Hmm.
So, and yeah, man. I mean, again, I think you're doing a lot of the right things, and just keep on doing that. You can break free from this. Okay, you can break free. You got to look at behavior modification tactics, which are useful but limited, right? And then look at finding the root and healing the root. Like, where did this start, and what's required to heal from that, so that you can move forward. And that book will really help you put some language to that.
All right. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for chatting.
Yep. See ya.
Bye-bye. 20 years old. They are out there. Want to leave it behind. Question. What that kid? Not focusing on behavior modification? Yeah, well, behavior modification is fine, but it's limited. People look at, I mean, that's why NoFap doesn't work. I was actually thinking of doing a video. I haven't posted any like original videos in a while, but NoFap, it doesn't work. It might work for 30 days, but just trying really hard to not do it is not going to last. And behavior modification is useful because you got to have new habits, right? NoFap. Should I have another brownie? Probably not. If you're asking that question, the answer is always no. Yeah, that kid, I did a video on that recently. Notice a lot of men tend to tell their mothers first. Have you noticed it? When I ask a guy, typically, who else in your life knows about this? Almost always, if they're talking to me, their partner knows. And then I'd say probably about, and this is probably typical with the younger guys, like in their 20s-ish, I'd say maybe 50% of the time, their mom also knows. Why do I think that is? Mother-son bond. They probably feel safer talking to their mom than their dad. They probably also caught their dad watching porn or found their stash when they were kids, so they know he's not going to be helpful. Why do I say it doesn't work? I didn't say it doesn't work. Well, did I? I think I did actually. Better way to put it is it's limited. It's limited. It's a limited strategy just to white knuckle your way out of it. You can find success for a period of time, but it's most likely not going to lead you into lasting freedom from it. Right? When you're just like, don't look at porn, don't look at porn, don't look at porn. Well, you're not really doing anything. Any of the deep healing work. Your son told you last week. Yep, there you go. You got any tips for dealing with childhood trauma and wanting to move forward? Yeah, we're going to do that workshop here soon, Angela. And assuming you fit into that category, it'll be helpful for you. It'll be awesome, Angela, just like what I said on the call a couple weeks ago. Two things can be true. It will be awesome, and you can say it'll be awesome because it'll be healing. Hi there. What's going on?
Hey, so I do think it's cheating, and I actually kind of have like a little story and a short question. So I've noticed that I'm not married to him anymore, but he was literally watching it like insanely, to the point where there was a time he got off of work and I wanted to do something sexual with him, and he told me no, that he's tired. So he didn't know this, but his phone was connected to the Bluetooth speaker that was in the bedroom that I was laying in.
Nice.
And he went to the bathroom, and it is kind of a little bit funny, but he started watching porn, and I heard it through the Bluetooth speaker. So obviously I was really upset, and I was pregnant at the time. So
Oh man.
yeah, so it was like really bad. And then I noticed that like it ended up causing aggression. Like he just started getting more and more angry because I guess because of how deep in it he was. And I tried to address it, and he would just get really hostile to the point where he said if I don't like it, I could get out. So I've noticed that it really does like affect the brain and can cause some aggression and some significant behavior changes. Um, and I kind of noticed too that by default it kind of transferred over to me because I felt lonely and sad and depressed and everything, and I didn't want to deal with him with the way he was being in terms of his behavior aside from the corn. So that kind of leads me into my question. Do you consider phone schmecks corn? And if so, what is your suggestion in terms of trying to get out of that?
Phone sex like with your partner?
Well, I'm single, so no, there's no partner. There's potential
You
partners.
and a potential partner are doing that?
Correct. Yes.
In Okay, you're asking if I think it's cheating and if you should get out of it. Is that what you said?
If it's considered corn, and if it is, because it's kind of like I feel that I need the validation, so that's kind of how I end up trying to get the validation, and it is destructive, but I'm just wondering if it's considered corn or if it's just me being me feeling hypersexual and feeling like I need to
Okay.
get
Well,
away.
you don't have to be specific, but like, what are you talking about? Is it like you're FaceTiming one another, or you're sending pictures back and forth, or are you talking verbally or texting?
Like it can be mainly it's the voice thing for me. So it's either over the phone or sometimes they pop the video on, if it's someone that I've been interacting with for a bit, then then there'll be video, but most of the time it's just like a voice thing.
And this is not with your partner?
Not with a official committed partner.
But you don't have an official committed partner. You're just doing this
For people that I feel drawn to, end up feeling drawn to and want the validation from them and feel like I can go somewhere, and then I self-sabotage and then
Yeah.
it goes away.
Okay. What's up, D? All right. And your question was, is it porn?
Yeah, like is it considered porn, or is it just like an issue with me being hypersexual?
Well, I'm not going to say it's that. The latter. Is it porn? I think that's the wrong question. Right? Like, why does it matter if the answer to that is yes or no? I think the question is, I know it might matter to you. I'm not invalidating that. I'm just logically working this out.
Right.
I think the better question, or a different question I would ask, is what's your goal, and is that getting you closer to your goal? Like, are you wanting an actual relationship with a person? And if so, how is having, phone sex with, you're basically having casual flings, but it's on a phone. Fair?
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's what is to be looked at there.
Got it. And then what's like the next step if I feel like it's an issue? Because clearly I'm sabotaging any potential relationship because I feel like that's something that needs to be there. Because of that, how else are they validating me? And it's like an issue. I know it's an issue.
Okay, so it sounds like you're pretty clear. You know it's an issue, and you're using it to self-sabotage. My question would be, what else could you do differently?
I mean, not do it, but it's not that simple.
I get that, right? Like, okay, start with not doing it. If you were to not do that, what would you need to start doing?
That's what I don't know.
Yeah. And that's where the work is for you, right? Is you're basically, you're finding pleasure in doing it, right? There's no question about that. You're getting a
Right.
payoff. You're getting a payoff by engaging in that, right?
Yeah,
And
because there's praise involved.
because there's what?
Because there's praise involved.
Praise and yeah. So you're getting validated by other men, presumably, in ways that it speaks to you, right? But it's actually it's getting you further away from what you're really wanting, which is to settle down with somebody,
Correct.
right? Yeah. So, how can you find that, we'll say, that validation or changing that belief about yourself and attend to that? Maybe it's a core wound, so that you're finding a different way to satisfy that, if that's what you're wanting.
Right. I'm just wondering if there's any sort of like outlet that I can go to, because I don't really know like where to go in terms of talking about this sort of stuff or figuring it out, because I'm kind of just like lost with it, and it's really like before it was just like, this is just the way I am, this is the way I carry myself, this is the way I go about my relationships. But I mean, I'm not doing myself any favors going about it this way, and I know that I need to like figure it out and not feel as alone in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Who in your life are you connected to?
I don't really have too many people, to be honest. I just moved across the country. I have like one friend, but she kind of she doesn't really see it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Are you in a relationship with your parents?
kind of, but I can't talk to them about this stuff.
Why?
Besides the fact it's really awkward, they are the type to try to sweep stuff under the rug and not talk about things of this nature, saying it's inappropriate.
Excuse me.
That's okay.
I think that's the first time I've sneezed on a live. I'm just as surprised as you guys are. You can't talk to your parents about this. I'm not hearing that this is a sex thing. I'm hearing this is a who loves me thing.
It's like a high I get from like the validation and praise thing. That's what it is, like. And I'm not really like my relationships are the ones that I desire to be in aren't exactly vanilla types. It's more so like in a realm of like a dom sub, like
Hey, keep
24/7.
talking. I gotta pee. I'm really sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
the worst coach ever. You get what you pay for, though. So sneezing and gotta go to the bathroom. Go ahead and keep talking, though. I can still hear you. Okay.
Okay. More of a dom sub 24/7. So like the gratification from praise and stuff that like goes closer and closer into a subspace, like that's kind of what I'm drawn to. But when it's not an official dominant and stuff, it's obviously an issue, because the connection that you're supposed to have and build obviously isn't to the point where I know whether I can trust them fully like that or not. So that's where the issue's coming, because I'm not really allowing much space for connection to exist.
All right, all right. I'm here. When did that start? The lack of trust.
Well, I'm saying that like when so someone's interested, a dom is interested or whatnot, and then I go straight for like, well, I want you to, validate me and give me praise and all these different things. And when I feel really connected to someone, that's where I feel like it's supposed to go in my brain. So then I, go about it. And when I go about it that way, though, I'm not giving much space for the connection. And like a dub sub dynamic, you have to really trust your partner when it gets to the point where it's an official thing.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean more like there's a huge trust conversation here,
yeah,
right? Like, who do you
yeah.
trust, and when was trust violated?
Really long time ago.
Is there a specific instance?
I mean, I I guess it really goes as far as like my teenage years when I was 15.
Yeah, you don't have to share specifics here, but something happened
Yeah,
when you were 15, and
yeah,
like let's just say that's wired into you. This whole construct you have with dom sub, right?
yeah. Where I want to be able to trust someone fully and be able to rely on someone fully.
Of course you do, right? But to trust somebody is risky because people let us down, right? It's really hard to trust. It takes a lot of faith to trust somebody,
Yeah,
right?
it does. My brain just pretty much goes to if I'm interested in someone of like giving them a clean slate, but then I self-sabotage it and then they kind of just go away because of
Yeah.
the way I'm going about it.
Yeah, and then if they go away, you don't have to risk trusting them. You don't have to risk being hurt.
Yeah, I still get hurt anyways because
Well,
I lie
yeah,
about it.
sure, but you probably, subconsciously less than you might get hurt if it did go further,
Yeah,
right? So I don't know what the answer is for you, but there's a lot going on here, and it sounds like, I mean, you said you don't really have a lot of connection with other people, and I would say your knee-jerk reaction with regard to talking to your parents was you can't do it, and maybe they're not the right people. Don't hear me that you need to talk to them. But again, I would encourage you to keep on pulling these threads, because this is a deeper meaning for you than just porn or sex or whatever these fetishes are, right? It's your relationship with trust, love. There's probably some childhood stuff to unpack there, right? There's a lot of layers here.
appreciate that.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm just trying to figure out like the first step. I mean, the self-awareness is obviously something I have to like keep working at. But
Yes.
in terms of like outside things besides the self-discovery is kind of like where I'm kind of in between,
Yeah.
lost in the sauce.
Well, you're totally right on that. Awareness is very useful, but awareness without action is useless.
Right.
So that's the question for you. What's the next step? Right?
Yeah.
Are you working with a therapist or anything? Counselor?
No.
Have you ever?
I have in the past, when I've been in, it's kind of like an energy version of psychodrama, where it's like a group of people and they kind of feed off each other's energy and they all kind of like contribute into the psychodrama scenario. That's helped, in certain aspects I was struggling with before. But a lot of times the talking therapist that I ended up coming into contact with just didn't really know how to guide the conversation, and it just felt like I was talking to a wall.
Got it. Yeah. Well, keep asking the questions. Excuse me. This book may be helpful for you as well. Unwanted. You probably heard me talk about it earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for sharing.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. I kind of want to go to bed here soon. Early night. Give me a follow if you guys don't follow me already. If you like my content. I kind of want to do a panel with people with their cameras on, but I don't think there's enough guests for that. There's only 7 guest requests right now, and there's no way out of those 7 we're going to have 4 people that turn their cameras on. I mean, last time we struggled hard to get people to turn their cameras on. I for sure don't have time for that. Trina. Do my friends FaceTime me for advice like this too? I don't give advice. I ask questions. No. I have a couple friends who, yeah, we talk, but, is this only work or are you everyone's go-to? No, I tend to stay in my lane. Like people don't like free advice. Oh, Morgan the Void. Oh my gosh. I ask for permission to share things with people if I want to, but I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting question. You only need, I think, 100 to have your camera on as a guest. It kind of varies though. Unwanted by Jay Stringer. You need 1,000 to go live by yourself on your own account. You don't need any followers to just be a guest with your voice. Yes, you can heal. All right, let's get some people on here. We'll do a little panel. Gosh, what am I doing? Oh, by the way, David, give me 1 second. What's up? Daylight savings is on Sunday. And I'm in Arizona. We don't do daylight savings, which means I'm going to be on an hour. It'll essentially, for East Coast people, it'll feel like it's an hour earlier because I typically go on at 9 p.m. my time. That'll become 11 p.m. Eastern time, as opposed to right now it's midnight Eastern time. So for those of you on the East Coast or Central time, it'll be an hour earlier. And for those of you on the West Coast, it'll be an hour earlier as well. Yeah, we don't do daylight savings. We never change. All right, David. What's up, man? Have I talked to you before? Never change.
No, you haven't.
All right, David. Oh, gosh. I got an echo. Can you rejoin? Or is the echo still there?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, we're good. All right. What's
Cool.
up, man?
Hey, a little tip. If you ever hear the echo thing, if you just turn airplane mode on, then off again real quick, it fixes it.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
So anyway, yeah. But yeah, no, I just come up to discuss the topic.
Okay.
I think it is cheating. I don't know if what your stance is on it. I just came across it live like 2 minutes ago, but I personally think it's cheating, and I think it's the cause.
Hold on real
Okay.
quick. Yeah. There's a lot of books. The Porn Myth is one. I recommend this book to people of any faith orientation or lack thereof. Okay. And I've had people who are Muslims, atheists, Buddhists, nihilists, Christians, Catholics, Muslims, agnostics read this book. And only one time I had somebody say that they hated it, and that was from a Christian with a ton of religious trauma. They couldn't stand the word God. So I would encourage you to read it anyways, and just see what you can learn from it, right? And if you don't want the faith stuff, throw it out, right? Just see what you can learn from it. So yeah, Unwanted by Jay Stringer. All right, sorry, man. You want to know my opinion?
Yeah, so personally for me, I think like if you're in a relationship and you're trying to achieve sexual arousal from watching like other people or somebody else that's not your partner, I think one, it's gonna be detrimental to like your psychology, and also to your relationship. You're gonna start setting unrealistic expectations when it comes to like intimacy with your partner. And two, it's not your partner. The only person you should be trying to achieve such things with is them. You shouldn't be looking for it from a third party, because then I believe that your mind is trying to. I feel like, I don't know, maybe you're trying to. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but you're trying to achieve like arousal from like someone else, and I just think that's cheating. I don't know.
Somebody else who's not your partner.
And this is coming from somebody who used to. I don't want to get too personal, but I used to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you in a relationship?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And how long has it been since you stopped watching it?
So I stopped for personal reasons. Right before I met her. And for me, it was because like I kind of went back and I said like about the unrealistic expectations that you're setting. And I also noticed like psychological things. Like I had like these.
See you guys. Good night.
Like I don't know how to explain it, but it was almost like really like just unrealistic expectations of like intimacy in my head, and it kind of like started like affecting me as like a person and like my relationships, and I just didn't feel good from it, if that makes sense. And it was hard. Like it was weird because it was like hard to stop for a while too, which is like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
That was kind of my experience with it.
Yeah. Well, good for you for coming to that conclusion, and then you're able to enter into a relationship already having done that work. But yeah, man, it gives unrealistic expectations for sure, right? Because the things that we see in porn are just not real expectations of intimacy, how sexual intimacy actually works. So, and the more you watch it, the more you think that that's what it's going to be like, and it's just not.
It's not. Yeah, because like how I kind of try to look at sexual intimacy now is more of like a bond with somebody rather than just like all fun. And I feel like that's what like, you can't say the word on here, right? It's corn, right? Corn.
I say porn.
Porn. Okay, yeah, I don't know if getting in trouble. TikTok's weird, man. But yeah, I think it's better to look at it as also, yeah, fun, but also a bond. And I think that watching porn conveys it more as just like a screw and chuck type thing and just like messy and who cares and on to the next, like more of just all fun, no intimacy, nothing to do with the bond, and there's no connection. Like you listen to like podcasts where they bring porn stars on and they're like that are married or in relationships and they're like, oh, it's just work. It means nothing. And I think that takes away for what like sexual intercourse really is supposed to be. It's supposed to be more of like a connection. And when I was younger, I definitely didn't look at it how I do now, but I think just maturing over the years and doing more research and kind of like finding myself kind of made me realize this. But it's hard because I feel like a lot of young men, especially when you start in your like teen years, it's very hard to get away from it. And you already have that it's already kind of like embedded in your brain, like the full sort of what like sex is really meant to be. And it's hard for like young men, especially, I think, to break away from it. And I think it's cool like that you're kind of doing this live to like teach, you know what I mean? And maybe open the eyes of like these guys that aren't really getting it. Because it is hard. Like, it's a struggle for real. It's like an addiction like anything else. And I think it's something that's super habitual too. Like, you get in a habit of doing it. And that's another thing that's hard to break away. But it's very, I honestly look at it as like poison for your mind, you know? But,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. But, yeah, man. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Did you mention a book, by the way?
Yeah. It's called Unwanted.
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 Is this like your book? Is this a book that someone you know, or just okay?
Well, I know him now, but I didn't.
Oh, cool.
It's not how I
book
found out about
Dr. Moore.
All
right, cool. I'm gonna just screenshot that.
Yeah, it's a great book. It talks about how everybody has a sexual story, and how it gets perverted, and there's a lot of clues along the way. So yeah, it's a good read, man. You'd at this
appreciate
point
it,
in
man.
your journey, you'd probably get a lot out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, none of us are perfect, but you just want to try to keep doing better, man. But
yeah, man.
Thanks for having me on, man. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, talk to you. Why does the title of your book hit so hard? Well, it's not my book, first of all. I didn't write it. I wish I wrote it. Because it hits so hard, man. Unfortunately, because it's a common experience to feel unwanted, abandoned, rejected, not good enough. And what pornography does is it makes us temporarily feel better, escape those feelings. And so in order to heal through it, you got to look at, well, why do I feel this way in the first place? And then you can move into a different path of healing. So it's a good book. Feeling unwanted unless I'm being the same as a porn actress. All right. Where'd that KK person go? I was going to bring him on. Or her, whoever it was. Thank you for helping me. I'm 4 months corn free. Let's go, Jordan. Way to go. David, how old are you? $29. Cool, man. Love it. All right, I'm going to go to bed. Thanks for being here, everybody. By the way, I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, both for men who are dealing with unwanted sexual behavior like pornography use or sex addiction, as well as women dealing with betrayal trauma. If you have been betrayed or you are struggling with some sort of unwanted sexual behavior and you want some help, consider going to the link in my bio and scheduling a call with me or joining one of my groups. Great groups, both for men and women, led by myself and other female contributors for our women's group and other men in our men's groups from time to time. And it's a great place to come and heal together in community, because healing doesn't occur until it's witnessed empathetically. Healing doesn't occur until it's witnessed empathetically. For those guys who it's like only their partner and their mom knows, they will experience a whole new level of healing when they can bring it to the light in community with other people. It's very important. My husband doesn't see it as a problem, but would rather watch it as soon as I leave. Sorry to hear that. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. See you next time. This was like a really, really chill live, which is totally fine. I'll bring the spunk next time. Thanks for sharing, Christo. Yeah, what a story. Oh, I'll tell my story with something like that real quick. KK wants to join. Oh, gosh, I'm going to be up for an hour now. How about that person the other night who's like, I'm going to change your mind. I'm like, I'll give you 60 seconds. And then they came up and said nothing. All right, I'll let you on, KK. Your request went away. So, while KK's figuring that out, shortly after I started doing this stuff on TikTok, I couldn't figure out how TikTok worked. I could still barely figure out how TikTok works. But like, I had only posted videos at the time. I had never gone through the FYP. I still really don't consume my TikTok feed, like hardly ever. It's a bunch of actually, I love TikTok. TikTok Shop is great. So I'm sitting in the living room trying to figure out my TikTok app, swiping through the FYP, and this video with a woman comes on, and I couldn't hear the words of what she was saying. So I'm trying to figure out why I can't hear it. Now, it didn't appear as anything that bad. And then all of a sudden, my wife, who's on the treadmill in the other room, starts yelling at me. She's like, "Austin, are you watching porn?" And I'm so confused. I'm like, "What's going on?" I'm trying to figure this out. Like, I'm not even in the app at this point. I'm trying to figure out like why are my headphones not working? And I go back to it, and she comes in the room. She's like, "Are you watching porn?" She takes her AirPods out, sticks it in my ear, and it's like basically a thirst trap that this video was that I had no idea was even playing, to the extent that it was. She's like, "What is going on in the other room?" I'm like, "I can't even figure out how to use TikTok." And I was like, "Hold on, I can explain." So the whole watching porn or listening to things when you don't know it, you got to be careful. We all got to be careful about that because you never know when that can go south. But once I explained it to my wife, she basically was like, "You're such a boomer. You can't even figure out how to use TikTok." I'm like, "I know." So that's my story. And I've heard that one, Krista, and whoever shared that earlier coming on, and your husband or boyfriend or whatever is playing it from the other room. It happens all the time. All right, KK's not here. We don't have to deal with KK. All right, great. All right, we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.